take this dive here to check under this ledge. I don't really see anything, so I just kind of crawl forward to try to hide behind the shelf in front of me. That Roy darts in front of me and I'm just too slow for it. I try to check for it, but at this point it's just gone, so I just end up sitting here behind the shelf. And then all of a sudden these big omilu just cruise in the shallows, and I mean, just look at these guys. I just wasn't quite ready for them, and I ended up scaring them off, so I head back up to the surface and take another dive. On this dive, I'm just again checking under the same coral head from the other side. I see that big fish there cruising down into the coral, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's a big guy and he's just staring at me. And then right there on my left under my hand, I see this squirrel fish, and I kind of have a shot on it, but I just decide I don't really want to take it, and I head back up to the surface. I spot this Roy looking at me, so I load up my spear and I dive down towards him. I line up my shot, and it's just not a good shot. I end up missing him and he darts off. Here I'm crawling towards this little hole because I see some little lobster antennas in there, so I stick out my hand to say hi, but he doesn't want anything to do with me. On this drop, I hit the bottom at about 20 feet, and there's this school of beautiful goatfish swimming around in front of me. I watch them for a little bit, but I'm never presented a shot, so I end up heading back up and taking another dive. This drop is again at about 20 feet, and I land next to this old log to try to kind of conceal my body next to it. I look to my left and I just see this moo hanging out in the distance. I stay down there a while longer. I try to do some grunts to call him in, but he's just kind of checking me out from a distance, and I can tell that he's a little bit wary of me. The moo's not liking my grunts, and then all of a sudden these goatfish come in, and I try to kind of turn to take a shot on them. However, by the time I was able to turn, they were out of range. So I just took one last look around and then headed back up towards the surface. At this point, I'm pretty much chasing these goatfish. I take another drop on them, but they don't want anything to do with me. So I say hi to this Kole, and then I just head back up. I'm still chasing these goatfish around. I hit the bottom here at about 10 feet. And then I look back and see this big one charging at me, and so I line up my shot. And I really can't tell you why I didn't take that shot, but there'll be other opportunities. I stay down there for a little bit longer to see if anyone wants to check me out, but they're not interested anymore, so I head back up. I break through the surface, and this view is just absolutely incredible. I'm just blown away right here. I decide to take a drop over this ledge, and then as I crest the ledge, I see this beautiful white-tip reef shark hanging out. He doesn't like that I'm disturbing his sleep, so he cruises up towards me, kind of makes his way along the shelf here, and then he ends up just darting into this little hole where I'm not going to bother him. But I'm just stoked to see such a beautiful animal out here, so I head back up to the surface. And again, this view is just spectacular. It's just a beautiful dive. Now I'm sneaking up on these two goatfish. I land here by this coral and I give them a little grunt to try to lure them in. One of them cruises by next to me and I just take a bad shot and watch my dinner swim away. I'm on my way back to shore now when I saw this rope wrapped around this coral head, so I dove down to try to see what I could do. I tried for a while to get it off using just my hands, but it was tangled around this coral head so badly that it was just a little bit futile. I do make some progress, but I decide I need a new approach. I dive down here a second time, and this time I've got my knife out and things go a lot quicker at this point. I finish cutting the rope off the coral and then head back up towards the surface. I say goodbye to these 2 turtles here, and I keep on going towards the shore. That was another great day of diving, and I get to end it with this beautiful sunset.